This is Robot Pool Party, the first one of the new year.
Yay, New Year's!
I'm Joe, this is Matt, and shall we begin?
Sure. There kind of wasn't a lot of news this week because, like, everybody was on, like, home or going home or coming back from home or ate too much or didn't eat enough or all sorts of whatever your traditions are. Like, I stuffed my face up with nachos on Christmas Eve.
My roommate wasn't in town, so I basically ate all the stuff that he can't or won't eat. So I basically enjoyed a week of nothing but KFC and ice cream.
Which is like the best combination. Like if they sold them together, like a KFC, like double down between two ice cream bars.
Give KFC time, and they will.
They owe me money for that. Then I just came up with that idea right now.
All right.
But there was one thing in news, and it was kind of important to me because my choice for Amanda Waller was picked. Viola Davis will be. Viola Davis?
I don't know. I don't know her. I'm not familiar.
I feel like I said her name wrong, and now I'm like losing mad face.
All I know is it's not Retta from Parks and Rec, and that means that it's a mistake. Because she would have been a great Amanda Waller.
Yep.
So I mean, there's really not a whole lot to say about it because I'm not familiar with her, so.
We shall see how this is going to go. I have tons of high hopes for Suicide Squad, which is the exact opposite of what I have for Batman vs. Superman.
The ever-increasing Justice League movie.
Yep. How long are we going to keep kicking that around? I don't know. It should happen.
It's going to be terrible. All right.
Unless it's not terrible. In that case, I'll be the happiest person on the planet.
That's right. So that's really our only kind of sort of news, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, one thing we wanted to do, because this is the first show of the new year, we basically wanted to cover our top 5 favorite things in the nerdy area of the past year. Mm-hmm. And I really think that next week we should do top 5 worst things. But for now, we'll just stick to the top 5.
We'll stick to the happy points right there. Like, why do you want to be grumpy?
It's a strong suit. Mm-hmm. It's a talent. I have 2 talents: being grumpy about stuff and eating and being enormous. I am awesome at both of them, and I'm going to continue to do both until something finally gives. So, basically, like, we're going to each do our own top 5, and we don't know each other's yet, so this will likely be some surprises. I don't think we're going to have any overlap because we like really different things. We might have 1 or 2.
I think we're going to have one, but I think it's going to a big overlap that everyone's going to agree with.
Probably, and I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think we should kind of alternate back and forth.
Okay, yeah, so let's go with number 5.
For me, I picked Winter Soldier. Okay, so when there was explosions happening, and then when Hugo Weaving was on the screen, that was like the best part of the first Captain America. And like anytime somebody who talked that wasn't Hugo Weaving, I was like, whatever. I mean, so like I really didn't have a lot of expectations for this movie. So when I went in and it just got like kabam with like awesomeness, with like this great buddy feeling between Sam and Captain America, between Captain America and Scarlett Johansson. It's like it had this great like buddy cop feeling. Do I even want to say buddy cop?
It kind of had something similar to that.
Kind of road trip thingy. There's a lot of charisma between all 3 of the main actors. The Winter Soldier was menacing. I mean, granted, I've read so much about the Winter Soldier, so his reveal wasn't.
It was astonishing.
Yes. But I had a blast. I was really surprised because I didn't feel like the Captain America First Avenger was anything that Marvel should be like. Yeah, yes.
I enjoyed it. I actually think I liked it better than Winter Soldier, but I probably am in a minority in that regard. But I like period pieces. I liked that so much of it took place in World War II. But that's just me.
And it had Hugo Weaving, who was awesome.
And he is great. Okay, so that was your number 5?
That was my number 5.
My number 5 was Dragon Age Inquisition, which was basically, after Dragon Age 2, I'm one of the few people that really enjoyed Dragon Age 2, but I was also kind of skeptical going into Inquisition because BioWare is not necessarily the same company it used to be, and I wasn't assured that they were going to come up with a really, really great title, and then they knocked it out of the park. The story was fantastic. The scope of the game was great.
Was there an Inquisition?
You lead the Inquisition.
You
were the Inquisitor.
You'd think it'd be the other way around, like you'd be the good guy.
Well, you are the good guy. It's just they kind of break down the what we conventionally know as the word Inquisition. A little bit like Mel Brooks, like dancing to
Inquisition.
I mean, it was great. The characters were awesome, and I mean, it was an awesome, like, progressive game with just so much. It was a AAA game. There's really no other way I can think of to describe it. The best RPG I've played in a very long time. So that was my number 5.
Awesome. My number 4 was the comic book series Miss Marvel. I thought it was great because it was a throwback to the old teenage comic book superheroes like Spider-Man was before. Some people have got mopey versions of him. Witty, Spreading Banner. It reminded me a lot the Static Shock cartoon. Just fun teenager coping with their problems and fighting monsters that they really shouldn't have to be fighting because they're teenagers and they should be in high school. And I did like before the death of Wolverine, he was guest starring in every book. And I did like the issue where they guest starred with Wolverine and she made him take a selfie. I thought that was pretty cute. But I like the comic book a lot. I'm looking forward to see what they're going to be doing with it. Oh, and Lockjaw guest stars.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Anytime Lockjaw makes an appearance. All right, my number 4 is probably the one that we have overlap on.
You think so?
What is it on yours?
What? Oh, I said that for number 1. So
that was your number 1.
Yes.
Well, it's very possible we have something totally different. Yours could be something totally different. My number 4 was Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was my number 1.
All right. Spoiler.
What?
Spoiler. That was your.
Well, no, that's why I had a 6th one, so I can be like, oh, my number 2 got bumped up.
You can sneak something in. Mm-hmm. What is there to say about Guardians of the Galaxy that hasn't already been said?
It was one of the funnest movies of the summer.
Fantastic. Probably my second favorite superhero movie of all time.
What's your first?
Rocketeer. I'm a Rocketeer fan, and that was a great movie. That was at a time when superhero movies weren't good.
I've got a fun Guardians of the Galaxy fact for you.
What is it?
You know why Star Trek 3 lost the director? Because they wanted to make a Guardians of the Galaxy type movie for number 3, and that was the split.
Wow.
Yep. People that's what even regular Hollywood is like, money, because they just surprised everybody. Nobody had any expectations for it. So when it blew everybody out of the water, they were shocked. Did it overtake Avengers in terms of money taken in?
I don't know. If it didn't, it came really close.
I'm looking at my cameraman because he kind of knows stuff like that. He shrugs.
Okay.
Oh man, I was counting on him for that.
They weren't afraid to go silly with it. It had charm. It had a lot of style to it. It was great. It was just fantastic. Everybody liked to call it the new Star Wars, but I don't know if it's necessarily an accurate thing. Give it 20 years and see if they've ruined Guardians of the Galaxy, and then we can call it the new Star Wars.
Wait till the special edition Guardians of the Galaxy comes out. Then we will be able to tell.
When there's banthas flying around.
So my number 3 was the Flash TV series. Even though it's got Barry Allen, who is not my favorite Flash, but I'm really excited about some of the different takes on some of the main characters. It's been a really enjoyable show. There's been some chemistry between the main stars, and not just romantic chemistry like Cisco and Caitlin and Barry. They have this, and Dr. Homeboy, who we all know is going to be Professor Zoom. Yeah, I didn't spoil that for you. Did anybody shocked by that information? You didn't even watch the show. Shut up.
I saw 40 minutes of it.
Mm-hmm. And then you missed the clocking episode, didn't you?
I saw the pilot.
You saw the pilot?
Yeah, and I think it was called Gotta Go Fast. It was a tribute to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Because it's a Sonic-inspired show. Anyway, they had a great season finale, so I'm eager to see what happens. Mid-season finale, so I'm eager to see what happens in a couple of weeks. And I'm hoping that the season finale is going to introduce Wally West. So I will flip my lid if that happens. Oh yeah, and they've already been teasing Grodd, so great stuff is happening.
And when Grodd shows up, then I'll start watching.
Mm-hmm, because they're like violent monkeys.
Yeah. Put violent monkeys in every show. I will watch it. I don't care. Put it on The View. I don't...
If the 5th panelist
is just a berserk gorilla, or no, better yet...
a cultured one.
No, a baboon.
A baboon?
Like the ones that have the red butts that are always hanging out. I just think that has a place on daytime talk shows.
I want a cultured one. I want with an English accent with the monocle and talk about talking tea so that when Whoopi Goldberg goes nuts, he can put her in her place. But is Whoopi still on The View?
Yes, she's probably the only good one on The View.
Lisa Ling was on The View, and I had the biggest crush on her. And did anybody else have Channel 1 growing up?
Yes, I remember her.
Oh, dude, she was so hot, dude. Of course it came right when puberty came, but still. Lisa Ling.
As soon as you turned on Channel 1, it's there's the puberty button.
Yes. Not creepy at all. Anyway, but when Wally West comes out, I will be totally nuts. And I think the show will just be like, ka-ching, mega ka-ching after that.
Fair enough. My number 3 was seasons 3 and 4, because they crammed them both into 1 year, of Legend of Korra.
Are you going to get all spoilerly?
This might get spoilery, but if you've been on the internet, you know how it ends, because the ending of it had such a momentous instance where it was all over. I mean, people were like writing articles, but it was one of those endings that it made news because of what it was, and it was impossible to avoid the spoilers of it. But putting aside that, because I am gonna touch on that. Seasons 3 and 4 were both a cut above what I had come to expect from Legend of Korra. Korra was disappointing coming away from The Last Airbender, because seasons 1 and 2, while they had good qualities like great action, great animation, good voice acting, the story drug it down because there's way too much teenage romance, there's way too much love triangles, and it wasn't what we had come to expect from the people that put together Avatar. Season 3 started better stories, better villains, there was more intensity, more humor. It was a better show. Season 4 began, and it just really just started to run with it, like in the very ending. And again, this is spoilery. I don't know how much you care about spoilers, but you've never even seen The Last Airbender.
I've seen the first 4 episodes, and if Netflix would actually carry the show, I would have watched it.
Fair enough. Well, like the ending of Legend of Korra is basically a gigantic robot running around through a steampunk city, shooting a wild laser. And
all right, okay, you got me hooked. Okay.
Yeah, it's so good. But the big thing was that Legend of Korra ended with a canon same-sex relationship, as Korra and Asami went off on a vacation to the spirit world together. That's hugely momentous for a show that's appropriate for all ages. And I was very happy. I mean, you have a lot of people that, obviously have some complaints.
Well, doesn't that predate your TV show?
Which one?
Oh, if they ever make a TV show of your car?
Unfortunately, yes. If I ever get a Woot Labs TV show, I will no longer be the first to have that distinction, but I'm happy that Legend of Korra had it for kids that are watching it, and that if it helps even one kid that's in a situation and that makes them feel better about it, then it's totally worth it, and people that disagree can eat it. All right, that's my end of my rant, because I don't want to get too political on this, but all right, okay, so you're number 2.
My number 2 was the Marvel series Superior Foes of Spider-Man. I was actually recommended, when they told me about the whole Superior Spider-Man, I was like, whatever. And then someone told me that I needed to pick up the Superior Foes because it's more comedic and it's about B-list villains doing some crazy awesome stuff, pulling a heist, double-crossing some super scary guys like the Chameleon and the Owl, who I never thought was scary until I read this comic book. So right away they accomplished something, making me scared of the Owl.
Who?
Okay, you get props for that. That's right. Yeah, dude. They had a great story. There's a quadruple, centriple, the biggest double cross you could possibly imagine. So much double crossing, and then some really neat stuff happens. Like the Shocker got respect.
All right.
And there's so many things that I hope we see more of. I hope to see more of the Superior Foes, especially Speed Demon, in future Marvel comic books. So I like that series. It's surprisingly like that series, and I'm sad to see it go. I'm not surprised because it was a Marvel series that I like, and they're really good about canceling books that I like. But yeah, it was a blast. I loved it. That should be a Marvel movie if Sony didn't have the rights to Spider-Man. If Sony wanted to keep the rights, they should make that into a movie.
So they can ruin that for me too.
Yeah, you're right.
All right.
Somebody else than Sony make a movie off of that.
Because that was your number 2?
That was my number 2.
My number 2 is this was the year of the Wii U. People that owned a Wii U were finally justified in owning their Wii U as a deluge of platform-defining games came out for it. Mario Kart 8, Hyrule Warriors, Bayonetta 2, Super Smash Brothers. Great games. If you bought a Wii U, chances are you bought it partly to play one of those games. And finally, we had some real good AAA titles that could compare to some of the other platforms. Like Xbox One and the PS4, none of their exclusives really appeal to me. So whenever we got a console, it was the Wii U. That was the first one. And yeah, this was a great year for it. Every big title lived up to the hype and was just fantastic. Number 1.
Well, I guess this is my number 2 since someone stole my number 1.
We both knew it would be on there.
I knew it was gonna be on there, but I just figured you'd put yours up higher, so like it wouldn't be as shocking. But my number 2 is X-Men: Days of Future Past, the movie. I really liked it a lot. I liked the introduction because I was an X-Men fan in the 90s, so just having Bishop and Blink just wail on robots is super awesome in my book.
The movie would have been a lot better if it had more of that.
Yes. I thought it was cool that we got to see young and old Magneto, young and real Professor X, like interact with each other.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I thought it was a pretty good story. There wasn't a lot of stuff for me to like go crazy about. The nerd in me is mad that Scarlet Witch was not the same age as Quicksilver because they're twins. I don't know how you have a twin 8 years younger than you, because that'd be super freaky. But yeah, it was a great story. It was unbelievable. When he picked up that stadium, I'm like, what's he doing at that stadium? And then when he put that stadium down, I'm like, that was awesome.
Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't top 5 for me, but I liked it. I'm glad I saw it.
Yeah, I thought it was a great flick. It was a lot of fun.
I felt like it could have had a lot more to do with the future, though.
Oh yeah,
because it was just like an afterthought. But also, there was really no reason for them to deviate from them sending Kitty back into it.
Well, because they couldn't get Ellen Page. Come on, dude.
She was in it.
But they couldn't afford her to do that.
I don't know. I can imagine, like, at this point, Hugh Jackman just kind of quotes a price at them.
Yeah, I guess
he's like, who else are they going to get to play Wolverine?
I'm still waiting for Machete to be Wolverine. I still nominate because
Danny Trejo?
Yes, dude.
Oh, by the way, this isn't a top anything, but there's a movie on Netflix you need to watch called Badass 2 Bad Asses. And it stars 2 awesome action stars. Danny Trejo, who at this point is 68, and Danny Glover as they hit the street to clean up crime.
I'm already sold. I like Oscar, don't even bother voting. Send this out.
Yeah.
And getting back on Days of Future Past, I loved, of course, the post-credit scenes with the Apocalypse. I'm hoping because Bishop's a time traveler and because Blink is a descendant of Apocalypse, we'll see them both in the sequel.
Hopefully.
Yes. Your number 1, sir.
My number 1, it might be a little bit of a cheat because not all of it took place in 2014, but if you won't accept it, I do have a backup.
No, we'll see.
And I will flip the table.
Okay.
Okay, number 1 was when I discovered what has officially become my favorite television show of all time. And it has actually overtaken Avatar: The Last Airbender. The hours of enjoyment I've gotten from this on so many levels.
BoJack Horseman?
No. BoJack Horseman it should just be called 3 out of 5 stars, the show.
No way. BoJack Horseman is awesome.
It's alright. It has funny moments.
I loved it.
No, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Nope, you're going to have to flip.
Oh, come on. At least season 9 of it was 2014. And it was my first interaction of it. Like, from the very first episode, I was like, hooked. Because I'm low-class white trash from Pennsylvania. That it is a show about people I knew.
See, I get that feeling. It's like when I watch King of the Hill.
Yeah, I love King of the Hill too, but no, I can see that because of the cultural things. Like Always Sunny will refer stuff like hoagies that smell like gas. Those are all over. That was what we ate for dinner. Like it's just that's how it is. And yeah, I love it. Danny DeVito is just so good. Charlie Day. It can range from dark to hilarious like that. And I respect it for the great comedy, for the social commentary. It's just I love it. I can't say enough good things about it.
It's a great show. Like when Comedy Central picked it up, and I was able to watch 4 or 5 episodes back to back. It was a lot of fun. It was a great show. I hate it when they're mean to Charlie because Charlie is an angel.
It's definitely not for everybody, but because it does good. It's a little bit like South Park where it's like nothing is sacred. They'll go after anything. But yeah, some reason it just really clicked with me. I've rewatched it several times at this point because the seasons are so short. But yeah, that was my number 1.
Fun fact, Greg Howerton was able to make that show with the money he got from watching the 80s show. So if you watch 2 episodes like I did, you sponsored the show.
Nice. Well, like, he was actually in the Firefly movie.
Really?
Yes, for a brief scene whenever they're first running from the Reapers? The Reavers?
I didn't watch the movie.
Okay, there's a scene where they're running from the Reavers and a random guy comes out and they have to shoot him. Like, Malcolm shoots him. So there's a scene where Malcolm Reynolds shoots Dennis Reynolds. I just saw that on YouTube like a couple days ago. But
I watched a great video on
I actually have a recommendation for you real quick.
yeah.
Go back and watch Pacific Rim again and think about the wild card episode.
well, there's an episode that
It
had
goes so much better.
there was an episode where his partner in Pacific Rim guest starred. Like the other smart guy from Pacific Rim guest starred as a scientist in Always Sunny. And it was written by the Game of Thrones people.
Which episode?
Flowers for Charlie. Like they give him like they make Charlie smart. Stupid science people can't even make ice more smarter. Just so good. I love that show. I'm gonna go home and watch it.
Right now?
Actually, that's a lie. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna sleep.
Oh, well, you should watch it right now. Like, pull it up on your phone while we're talking. It'd make it more entertaining if, like, the early...
It's... yeah, okay. Before I ran too much about Always Sunny. Okay.
It's a good flick. I mean, it's a good TV show. I highly recommend it. I just wish they weren't so mean to Charlie. They could be to everybody else but Charlie. Like, kick Ricketts in the face. I don't care. But
Rickety Cricket.
do not be mean to Charlie. The guy eats cat food and cat food water. He shoots it.
It's some combination deal. Whenever you have cat food and the beer, it just makes you real sick, and then you get sleepy. And it helps you go to bed, because you don't hear all the cats crying outside. There wouldn't be cats outside if you weren't leaving open cans of cat. Oh, I just love it. Okay, anyways. So that was basically it for our top 5.
Yeah, that was a top 5. That was a great top 5.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's a brand new year, so you see a bunch of people be like, I'm going to take care of myself. New year, new me, go to the gym and stuff like that. And I'm 100% behind it. But I've been seeing people on the message board going, oh, all those new year, new me people are just going to make the gym all crowded and grumpy, and they're just going to give up anyway. And I just want y'all who are out there, like, going to the gym to make an effort, you know, to turn your life around and say, ignore those naysayers, because they're all jerk fakes. I'm glad I said fake instead of the other word I was thinking of. But, like seriously, I'd rather deal with 12, like, new year, new me people at the gym than, like, one musclehead who wants to use 3 pieces of equipment because, like, that's just my way my workout goes, man. You know, I gotta maximize that burn.
That guy got to get pumped, though.
I'm just
He has to
saying,
get his pump on.
if he wants to use 3 pieces of equipment, he needs 3 memberships.
How do you expect him to get his pump on if he doesn't use...
But yeah, so like straight up, go for it. I encourage anybody who's getting into fitness, or if you're worried about those jerkbags at the gym, I've got 2 resources that I think are really good for you. One of them is NeilaRay.com, NeilaRey.com. She's an Australian fitness instructor. She throws together a bunch of exercise packages. They're typical exercise practices, like you do lunges, you'll do mountain climbers, you do stuff like that. But then she gives them geek names. Like she's got the Black Canary workout. She's got the Naruto workout. She's got the Daredevil workout, the Resident Evil workout, and Super Saiyan. Like she got a Super Saiyan 30-day challenge. So like if you're very geek friendly. So if you're like looking for something that you can do at home, requiring no exercise equipment, because you want to get started and you're a nerd, there's that right there. It's a really fun little thing, and you can flip them out when you get boring. I personally do the Wolverine because the Batman is way too hard. The Batman is rowdy. And also there's nerdfitness.com, and it's a blog and it's kind of a community. You give each other pointers and stuff like that. There is a paid program if you wanted to like take their classes, but you don't have to. But it's just a good little positive thing. It's really very, very Star Wars friendly. If you're a Star Wars, I'm sorry if you're a Trek fan.
I don't like fitness or Star Wars.
But yeah, so there's some geek options out there. If you're looking to exercise, you just don't know where to start, and you don't want to go to a gym to deal with the mullet heads. I totally get where you're coming from. And NeilaRay.com and NerdFitness.com are good places to get started. All right, so we got a new segment that I want to unveil today. It's called Nerd Blasphemy, where we take like a sacred cow of nerddom and just kind of take it down a notch.
This is one of my strong suits, by the way.
Really good. You're
Ruining crap that people like.
Because I'm counting on you to help me out with this, because I'm particularly mad about this, and this is probably 10 to 13 years full of rage on me. But the epilogue to Harry Potter. Are you familiar with the epilogue?
Yes.
That's where Harry Potter takes his kids and to the train, and like it always unpleasant me. Then and then it really got to me, and this is why. First of all, I'm not convinced that him and Ginny would have ended up together.
I agree with you, but my complaints go back much further. But I'll let you say your piece.
Okay. I just think it was a stupid high school crush, and it should have ended as soon as she had to get rescued by Harry Potter. I thought, any schoolgirl's dream would be to be rescued by their hero, but as soon as they actually get rescued by somebody from a basilisk that can kill you with a glance, that would pretty much kill anything. And I know people are going to be like, but they were making out in book 6 and book 7. And I'm like, well, I made out with people I didn't marry. I mean, I'm sure you made out with people you didn't marry. Yes. My cameraman. Yes.
No, I haven't made out with the cameraman, if that's what you're asking. If you're asking us individually, then.
Yes, individually. I'm just ooh.
Okay.
Dude, we're all teenagers. We all have hormones. We all do stupid stuff. And I didn't think there was love. And then, so whatever, they graduate, they faced evil together and stuff like that. Maybe that brought them together, but science says no, that doesn't really do that. But anyway, let's say theoretically they got together. Their marriage wouldn't have lasted because she went on to be a Quidditch superstar, and Harry Potter was a cop. How many sports superstars do you know of that are married to cops?
Well, the best thing is that in the movie they didn't even specify that he's a cop. He's like a broom salesman, as they're just walking they never specify. Oh, it's an augur, I think, is or yeah. But yeah, they never even say it in the movie, so you just you have no idea what he does. He cleans bathrooms, or I don't know.
Yeah.
And they aged them so well. They slapped a little bit of a fake 5 o'clock shadow on him.
I like how they made poor Ron chunky, but they didn't do anything to Harry Potter.
Yeah, no, there's just whatever.
I mean, I totally see that because I think if anything, in my mind, if Harry Potter's a cop and Ron is his partner, then they are Simon Pegg and Nick Frost of cops, of wizard cops. But the thing that really got me is that the kids' names were Lily, James, and Albus Severus.
Yes.
So guess who didn't get to name a kid? Guess who named all 3 kid? The little princey fancy pants who was it's all about me. All 7 of these books are about me. And every time he had to do something himself, he just made stuff worth. Dumbledore would be alive if he wasn't I'm going to go save the world. If he just listened to Hermione and listened to Dumbledore, there would still be a Dumbledore. So, so it kind of bummed me out. I mean, and it's not like Ginny had a dead relative she could have named her kids after.
She had at least 2.
So it's come on. Whatever. That made me mad. Right. I feel healthier now. I feel that we got that out there. But that is our segment, Nerd Blasphemy.
Hey, I need to do my Nerd Blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
I'm breathing it in. I was letting you finish before I went on my tangent.
Oh, so you still got some Harry Potter stuff?
Harry Potter should have died. Horribly. If you look at the books, especially near the end of it, Voldemort is a far more likable protagonist than Harry Potter. He is tenacious, he sticks to it, and,
he's a self-made man.
He's a self-made man. America loves a self-made man. He embodies the American spirit.
Especially
Harry
with no
Potter
nose.
is terrible. And it's 7 books of him making stupid decisions and should have been dying. But even before we go into the fact that he should have died, he really shouldn't have even been in the story. Because he's like a do-nothing main protagonist that never really accomplishes much without obscene help from his friends. And for some reason, everybody just worships him. I like the Harry Potter series. I don't want to make it seem like I dislike it.
We don't want to go out there because I read the books several times.
I like J.K. Rowling, and she turned an entire generation of young people onto reading, which desperately we need that.
She also gave us Twilight. She's indirectly responsible for that.
How's she indirectly responsible for Twilight?
Because they're children's literature, let's buy that.
That's true. And because of that, she's also indirectly responsible for 50 Shades of Grey, because it was just butchered Twilight fanfiction.
Yes.
So wrap your head around that.
So you have a lot to answer for, J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, I like the books. I like them progressively less as they go on, because she's I'm going to kill this person for literally no reason. My biggest complaint about the end of the books is that Mad-Eye Moody should have died taking 20 evil wizards with him.
Yeah, easily, dude. That guy was like Commando. He was like Arnold Schwarzenegger as a wizard.
He should have had a death like Randy Quaid in Independence Day, where he's just like flying his broom up in like his big wizard shit.
No way, dude. I want him spinning around with a circle with lightning bolts coming from 2 wands. Like Bad Boy style, man.
He needed much better than an off-camera death. But yeah, like I like the books. Hate the protagonist. I've never so openly rooted for the villain as I did throughout the books of Harry Potter. And I like his assistants, you know, the other students that aren't as important. But yeah, Harry Potter's terrible. He treats his friends and the people close to him like garbage. Like how often he mistreats Hagrid and stuff. Oh, I just hate him.
Yours was surprisingly more angry than mine was. I was just mad about
I told you,
name.
this is something I get fired up about because it's something people hold on a pedestal and I can't stand. Or I just think is massively overrated. When we get to Next Generation, you're going to need to schedule a half hour. It's going to take a half hour for me to cover all the reasons I think Next Generation is an overrated piece of work.
I'm going to go on record and saying that I liked Next Generation. I liked that exactly 45 minutes in, the plot was resolved. Exactly to the minute.
I can't stand that.
But anyway,
we'll cover that.
Yeah.
We'll cover that. It'll be all different.
So if you can just...
It'll be a whole session.
So I went home for the weekend, for a Christmas break, for a week, and I love my family, but I can't be around them all the time. So I did the awesome thing, and because of what Joe said, I streamed all of Batman: Brave and the Bold, and it is a surprisingly awesome cartoon. What turned me off was the art, and then the guy from Drew Carey was Batman.
Diedrich Bader.
Yes,
but he's good.
He really looked good. Like he didn't come off as Oswald at all. There was no Oswald in it, and like he's
such a serious Batman surrounded by all that goofiness.
And he's delivering these great one-liners that I can see Batman saying that.
But he delivers them with this complete serious tone as he talks about his brass knuckles being named the hammers of justice.
Yes.
It's great. And I like the art style. I can't agree with you on that.
No,
does it grow on you?
It does. It's like a slightly worse version of Bruce Timm stuff. I know it's Bruce Timm stuff.
I prefer to say it's slightly more stylized.
It was more a 70s homage. I mean,
yeah, definitely.
The series was great because it gave me respect for Aquaman for the first time in my entire life.
Aquaman is so good in it, voiced by John DiMaggio.
Yep.
It's the best Aquaman.
It's what Aquaman should be. If Aquaman was like that, I would read his comic.
Everybody would.
Yes, it'd be the greatest comic of all time. It'd be like who? You're like, Wolver who? What are you talking about? There's an Aquaman.
Did you have a favorite episode?
Oh, there was a bunch of them. I want to say, look, it just maybe because I streamed a bunch of stuff together, but I want to say Henry Rollins was a guest voice.
I think he was.
And as a punk, that really impressed me.
You would like Legend of Korra because he plays the main villain in season 3.
I totally would get there. Like I said,
Mad Stan and Batman Beyond.
he's what?
He also played Mad Stan in Batman Beyond.
Oh, I have not seen that in a
The
long time.
bomber dude, the guy that likes to blow up buildings.
Cool.
Yeah.
The evil midnight bomber. What
That
bombs at midnight?
Best episode of The Tick ever. Go to the Sidekick Lounge. But yeah, dude, I was really excited. There's a lot of stuff. It gave new twists to characters. You know, introduced characters that I would never have thought, like Doom Patrol. I wouldn't have given 2 seconds to Doom Patrol.
I like them in Teen Titans, but yeah. But no, like they had the Justice League International episode with Booster Gold. And,
Booster Gold is one of my favorite characters. He's always been one of my favorite characters. So the fact that he was a major character.
And Fire and Ice. And Ice being like, Ice had this weird prejudice against the Dutch, I think.
You're like, where did that come from?
It was just randomly be like, no, we cannot work with the Dutch. And it's like, what? What does it even... And like, the Question saving the day. And just, of course, as a Question fanboy, I was like, yeah. It was so great. Like, the music... Like, if you don't watch anything else of Brave and the Bold, watch the Music Meister episode.
NPH, yo.
Yep, Neil Patrick Harris as... And I believe it's an original villain.
Yeah, it's an original villain. There's a couple of original villains that I was like Babyface. I had to look that up. I was like, is Babyface a real villain? Because it was the 60s. It could have been a real villain.
So good. Yeah, it was a great show.
It was a great show. So if you were like me and you were scared because of the art, because of the actor, because of the more serious, less take of it, then put it past you. Go watch it.
If you have to have Batman as Dark Knight, you won't like Brave and the Bold. Like, if you can't accept that Batman can have a sense of
No.
humor.
I'm gonna say, go to the Spectre.
Yeah, there's an episode with Spectre and Phantom Stranger.
Yes, go watch that episode first. That will segue you into it. It's serious, it's dark, it's very brooding Batman, but there's still a bit of lightness to it that will I guess inoculate you into the TV show.
Just as a non-spoilery synopsis, it's the episode where Batman confronts the man that murdered his parents, as the Phantom Stranger and Spectre vie for his soul. And that was in Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, that was in a cartoon that had Aquaman riding a platelet.
Yes. I think it was a white blood cell. It wasn't a platelet. He just named it platelet.
Oh, is that
because
what
Adam was like, no, that's not a platelet.
Oh man, the Aquaman vacation.
Yeah. Aquaman, like,
Okay, so he drove by Dakota City. They could have given us a Static.
they could have.
So like, I don't know. I'm still rooting for a Static. If we can bring Static into anything, I'd be stoked.
That show gave us plenty. It had the Batbot, like the big robot Batman. It had Ace the Bat Dog. It had the
Batbot
Bear.
was Adam West.
Yes. It was great.
It was a great show.
Adam West was in the episode with Spectre too. Because that was the cool thing. Because it's Phantom Stranger and Spectre vying for his soul. And I want to say that Kevin Conroy played Phantom Stranger,
yes.
and Mark Hamill played Spectre.
And Kevin Conroy was the Batman of Zur-Nur.
Yeah. It touched on obscure Batman stuff, and it was a great show.
Great show. Yeah,
And
great show.
The ending actually almost made me tear up, despite how goofy it was. It was just such a heartfelt ending from the creators. One of those rare moments where you're watching the end of a show and you really feel like the creators are reaching out and be like, hey, this was really important to us. Thank you for sharing the experience. That's what I got from it.
I got the part with Ted McGinley. He's like, when Ted McGinley replaced Aquaman's voice, and they're like, now it's tuned to cancel. And he's like, Married with Children was on for 7 seasons after I joined the cast. Because he's been waiting to say that his entire career since he's been, oh man.
Also, it had the Fonz. The Fonz was in the final episode as Ambush Bug.
That was the Fonz?
That was Henry Winkler. So I think we're selling our cameraman.
Yeah, was our cameraman convinced before this? Have you seen the show before?
Tried watching one episode, kind of fell asleep, but I was also wasted.
Oh.
It was 3 in the morning.
Yeah, so give it a shot. Give it a
Yeah,
shot. Totally give it a shot.
I really feel like any show, you really have to give like the first couple episodes to kind of get into the swing of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how Transformers Prime was for me. But
Speaking of which, that's what I'm watching next, assuming it hasn't been pulled at the beginning of the year.
yes,
Has it been
I
pulled?
don't know, but I'm saying yes. Do watch. I'll be very interested to hear what you think about it on the show here. And again, watch, give it some time.
I've got through the first 4 episodes, so
Okay.
we'll see.
Has Megatron made the scene yet?
Yes.
Isn't Frank Welker intimidating as hell as Megatron? Mm-hmm. Just the.
So this is the part of the show where Joe critiques the comics that I bought this week, and there's
hard.
some spec. I
I
ruined it.
know what,
No.
I know what they all are now.
Can I give him amnesia? Does anybody have a mallet?
Segment is ruined. You're not gonna give me a concussion. No.
You're not willing to put your life on the line for the show? How committed are you, Joe? I need to know right now before we go
You
this
do
any
not
further.
know what the comics are.
Okay, I don't know what these are.
I don't think the Force
It's
works.
all right. All right, here we go. Thunderworld Adventures. Is this specifically just the Shazam?
I think it's supposed to be an all Shazam issue
all Shazam all the time.
by Grant Morrison. So it's
Well, I open it up and I like the page I opened up to.
there's a dragon. I didn't even open it up, so right away you're farther than I am.
I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Yeah, now who's spoiling
Wow,
stuff?
Shazam kills a lot of animals in this.
Is that part of the multiversity?
Any rare Kakistan? Was it? What's Tani? What kind of tiger is she?
Last Tiger of Kahndaq.
Yeah, the last tiger of Kahndaq. Any Kandaki tigers that he kills?
I actually really like the art style in this because they kind of go back to the fact that that Shazam and Billy Batson don't have like whites of their eyes. They have the little orphan Annie eye thing going, and they kind of balance this out and make it they make it look a little bit more realistic, but they still kind of stick to that. So I appreciate that. But no,
I don't know if that's Black Adam. I'm gonna be kind of grumpy about that.
I don't know if it's Black.
Oh, it's Black Savannah.
Black Savannah.
Yeah, so I guess Dr. Savannah gets atomized.
Huh. Cool. I don't know. This looks actually pretty interesting. I mean, Shazam's a cool character. He's not the steam and pile of crap that most DC characters are.
Ouch.
Speaking of, I don't know much about the new Robin.
It's the old Robin. He came back to life.
Okay.
It's Damian Wayne.
Oh yeah, that's all we gotta say. Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne, the worst Robin possible.
No, Jason Todd is the worst canon Robin. Carrie Kelly's the worst Robin in existence.
No, Damian Wayne, worst ever.
I thought Damian Wayne was a joke until I went back and read the Batman and Robin, where Dick Grayson was the Batman and Damian Wayne was the Robin, and you have like the serious Robin and the Batman cracking jokes, and the dynamic worked really well together. So like that, what sold me on him. And then when I knew he was gonna die because the stupid Death in the Family series didn't do as well as DC hoped it was going to do.
Why do you hate Jason Todd?
What? Oh, he's just obnoxious. He was like, I want to be the next Robin. And that's the same reason I hate Carrie Kelly. I want to be the next Robin. You don't have any skills. I want to be the next Robin. It's like, you deserve to be killed by the Joker.
How do you feel about Stephanie Brown?
I'm in favor of her.
Okay, that's all right. I like Carrie. I like her design. But, I mean, that's probably what I'm basing it on, because I don't know too much about her. But the fact that you don't like her makes me think that, there's probably something there. But, because you like Damian Wayne.
You think that'd be like a strike against, or like a strike in for her, or whatever. I'm confusing myself with double psychology. I got one more thing for Joe to review. This is it's something that's been taunting me for the longest time.
Not a comic?
It's not a comic, but it's something I bought at the comic book store, so you're perfectly capable of reviewing it.
Alright.
This is a role-playing game.
Legend of the...
Wu Lin, I think.
Wu Lin. At first I thought it was a Legend of the Five Rings game.
I do play that.
Oh, okay.
This is a RPG that's supposed to be based on like kung fu movies, so you can get your kung fu movie on. So right away that appealed to me, but like I've been torn on getting it because like I already, like I said, I play L5 Rings, but I don't even have time to show up to that. So like, do I really want to get into another RPG? But I'm like, it kept getting to me, and then every once in a while. Like, I mean, every Thursday and every once in a while, like, there'll be a Kung Fu movie marathon on El Rey, which is the Great Age Channel by Robert Rodriguez, and it'll make me, like, I had to buy it and read it, and even if I just read the stupid instruction manual, I think it'll help me.
Like, a lot of the time, these kind of books are just fun just to read, even if you have no intention of playing. Let's see, it's been a long time since I've been really, really involved in tabletop RPGs, but I played D&D extensively, like 3.5 for like a solid 10, 12 years, like playing 3 games a week. Like really, just way too much. Like
I thought you were playing Star Wars now. You playing Star Wars? No, you don't play Star Wars. Who's playing Star Wars?
Oh man, it doesn't sound like me. I don't do it. Well, actually, no. We're doing like a quasi RPG on Monday nights on Skype, but I'm not a huge fan of online playing. Like that's really taken off. People love doing those kind of games on Roll20 on Skype, and I just don't like it. I like books. I like dice. I like the being around the table, sharing pizza or stuff, like something with friends.
Yes, I think that does add an effect. A whole what if you
that's a huge part of the experience for me, and I just don't enjoy it as much whenever that's not a part of it. So I actually don't have that kind of group right now. But no, back to my point. Like the last one I've read through has been Numenera. I don't like Numenera nearly as much as some people seem to. I mean, people went.
I'm not even familiar with the show.
It's right there. It's like, hey, we're kind of sort of D&D, but we have rules that are completely and totally freeform, and it actually really detracts from the experience. I like structure and rules. I think 3.5 nailed it. As I'm looking at this, I mean, obviously it's hard to give like a real assessment.
Yeah.
I find the art lazy. I can say that. I can't help it. That my initial instinct is I don't like the art. Just because, I mean, it's all black and white, all very drab, all very... It just looks like somebody just went to town with a watercolor brush and they said, well, that's fine, I don't need to have any more detail.
I think that's what the thing they were going for, the watercolor brush.
Which is fine, but they could also add a little bit of flair to it. Like, a little bit of color would make a lot of these images really pop. As for the actual campaign setting, I got no problem with it. I've never done this kind of setting, but I did do Oriental Adventures in D&D. which was
And that was
interesting.
based on Legend of the Five Rings.
Yeah, it even had like the clans, like what was the Sawa clan and stuff like that, Phoenix clan. But yeah, I mean, it seems interesting. I mean, if you actually get around to playing it, like you have to get like that's the problem with these kind of games, that you have to get so many other people that have the books, that have interest, have the time. And as we get older, it gets crazy hard trying to find a group of people willing and able to do this once a week. But yeah,
Well, if anything, I got a really expensive hardcover.
you did. Welcome to Zenzou, a China that never was, a land of mystery and adventure. Appearing for the first time in Legends of the Wulin role-playing game.